So a piece of sausage and a bacon goes in a pan. The sausage goes, "Oh man, it's hot in here." And the bacon goes, "Holy shit, I'm talking sausage!"
Oh, welcome to episode 42 of Bros, Bumps, and Beers. I
sausage.
am the EST of Triple B, Pat Gagne. He is Matt Tooties Gagne. And that's Jordan.
The Jackhammer!
Yeah!
Schofield.
Yeah!
Why are you being a pissy pants? Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh,
we
is
have
he-
one of
is
these
he-
again.
Oh, he's one of these again.
I love this.
Well, then he's what? One of these what?
You're short.
Yeah, that was last week. We're not doing that anymore.
No, he meant your attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But why are you upset at me now?
okay, so a couple things. Let's start off. Let's just do this. Are we going to do
just-
this? We said we would air it out first.
Sure.
Okay, so
No, you said you.
So the story goes, Matt, don't start. Okay? All right. Anyway, so Jordan texts me.
Can't wait to agree with Jordan on this.
Jordan
I'm
texts me
I'm just gonna lean back.
the other day. I don't even remember what day it was. I was just so angry. Jordan goes, "Hey, Pat, you want to pick up some beers for me from Kilter?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll drive him over." Jordan does a lot of driving. I was like, "Yeah, I'll drive him, and I'll drive him to your..."
He does?
No, I don't. I don't do fucking anything.
That's true.
Ever.
Yes, I don't know what I was thinking there.
You were coming over to pick up beer for
Right.
you.
I was going to pick up beers, and I had to do that. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll drive to Jordan, something to do. So he's like, "Oh, I got an order from Kilter. Go to Kilter." Sweet. I go, "Yeah, order
What
for
you
Jordan.
get?
Oh, just wait.
Order for Jordan Schofield." "You already pay?" I'm like, "I hope so." Because I'm not Jordan Schofield, I'm thinking. And she's like, yeah. She goes and she takes a little bag. I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. I don't know what that's about." And she puts 2 beers in the bag and hands me the bag.
Thanks, Pat.
And I go, "Thank you." She goes, "Yeah, have a good one." Very slowly did I walk out of Kilter, and I was like, something's off. This is wrong. So I get into my car, and I call Jordan, and I go, "How many beers did you order from Kilter?" And he goes, 2. I go, "You made me go to Kilter for 2 beers." You
Which
didn't
ones you get?
Okay, so you'll understand why it's 2 beers. One was the
Small batch?
The small batch.
Delicious,
so I can
right?
only have fucking unbelievable.
Incredible.
But my mom took a sip of it because, as you know, I am back in Casa de Schofield for the time being. Mom took a sip and she's like, "Is that jam?" I was like, "Yeah,
I know.
fucking 7%."
I gave Janelle a sip, and she was like, "Oh my god, can we split this?" I said, "No, we can't."
Unbelievable.
No.
And then the other one was Secret Weapon, and I'm just not getting more than one of Secret Weapon. Like it's Secret Weapon. I don't need 5 Secret
Want
weapons.
to hear a fun story?
After, should we save it till Pat? Because Pat's not done
Just real
bitching.
quick, related to
Yeah, go
Secret
for it.
Weapon.
Yeah.
I thought I ordered 2.
Oh.
I would pick them up. I got 4. So
Whoa.
now I now have 4 bazookas.
Well, if you
Yeah.
ever want to go to sleep, just crack one.
Yeah,
open.
those
you
like
can only have one of those a night.
that Phantasm powder is some
is incredible.
good shit.
It dries it out at the finish.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, Pat, you were
I
complaining.
love it when Matt's excited about beer.
It's
Looks
so
like a
fun.
little child.
I know.
But yeah, no. So he's like, "Yeah, thanks." So I hang up. I drive. And you, from my house to your parents' house,
It's 20 minutes max.
it was far. Okay, especially when you only have 2 beers weighing you down.
So you probably got there faster.
Yeah. So I get there.
I'm surprised your car's engine could handle the extra weight.
It's a quality machine. It is not a Jaguar.
Oh, I mean,
But it's a
who has one of those? Not me.
I'd like to know if Pat even knows what his engine is.
It's in my car. Can you believe this guy?
Patrick, oh god.
So he gives me the beers, and okay, that's cool. Jordan pulled through, got us a beer. Where were they from?
Okay,
BC?
So yes, they were the Superflux Beer Company has some amazing beers, but the problem is you can only get them in 4-packs, and then I have to ship them to a friend who ships them to me for not a small amount of money. So I think I got 16 beers, and I gave you
4 beer
four
cost
four each.
$28?
Yeah, it was $28 per
So
person.
yeah, let's just all remember. Next time, Jordan, I'm sorry. If you want me to bring you beer, let's make sure it's more than 2.
You know what makes me feel bad though is like I'm the first person to tell other people to be like, "Hey, when you're ordering beer, like let me know." But then on the other hand, it was like it was kind of tough because I was like, I could ask like, one of my friends if they want beer, but then I have to ask everyone else if they want beer.
No, you don't.
And I
No,
can't.
no, you don't.
I know, but it's like, I can't handle 10 guys being like, I want
Look,
40 beers plus shipping.
I will say I'm the most notorious person of like, hey, I want to get this new beer, so I text Matt and like, hey, we're brothers, got the connection. You want some beers? Even then, I don't always do it.
Yeah,
And then
I try.
I'm just terrible for that.
almost every time. If I'm ordering
I'm
from
very
out of
selfish.
province, I'm like, hey, who wants in? But like, if it's like you can't order singles, now we're getting to like palate territory.
You're talking to one of the most selfish beer guys in Winnipeg.
Matt gives zero fucks.
I will order, and guys will be like, you put an order? Yeah.
If you ever do that to me, I'll stab you. If you ever order from somewhere and you're like, yeah, I didn't tell anybody, I'll be like, I'll kill you. This
just
inner
don't
circle
care.
counts
I
differently.
just don't care.
But
Yeah, I mean, now because you've vocalized it.
But Pat
and
was
you scared me a little
such
bit.
a sourpuss like the whole way. Oh, and by the way, the best part is I gave him the beers for him and you.
Yeah.
But you had paid me, right?
Yeah.
Like almost right away.
Yeah.
Pat, when did you pay me for the beers I handed you in good faith?
yesterday,
Exactly.
And Pat, where are my beers?
oh yeah, Pat, where are Matt's
they're
beers?
still currently at my home. I haven't driven them over to Matt yet,
Ah!
even though I was already in the car and I could have dropped them off on the way home.
Hey, but Matt, screw me, right?
Yeah.
Screw me for
I mean-
asking him to come just stop.
But anyways, this is unraveling. Jordan did something else that was mean, and
okay.
so NCAA March Madness is going on. It's one of my favorite things ever.
So stupid.
And Jordan, who not a lot of people talk about college basketball all year because like not a lot of people pay attention to it until
fucking
March.
sucks.
I watch it all year, and then Jordan's like, "Oh, what a great tournament!" I'm like, "Holy shit, someone wants to talk about NCAA basketball in our group chat." So I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty great, eh?" I can't believe I don't even remember what I said. And he's like,
This is
"Yeah,
great.
the Six Nations tournament, really fired up for it," which is like I had to look it up. It's rugby apparently. I was so furious, and this is why in the show notes. This part of the segment was called Jordan Sucks and I Hate Him.
France-Wales was one of the best matches I've seen in a long
Wales,
time.
I'm convinced, is not a real place.
I would like to watch rugby with you because I
So
understand it
good.
to a point, but I feel like you could fill in some of the blanks for me.
Yeah, no, I played and
enjoy
watched
watching it
rugby a
because
good chunk of my life
it's
before I
violent.
became a broken down. Like, if the strong gust of wind hits me, my back tweaks. So, yeah, no, I thought I just wanted to let Pat know that like he was missing a really good game, and when Pat asked me which one, I told him France-Wales, and Pat just appreciated that so much. I'm sure Pat went back, watched the highlights, he's going to give me a
What
full
channel is
breakdown.
that even on? Right now, every sports
The
channel
Zone.
is... Okay, that's not a sports channel.
I believe that's all that's on it.
Yeah, I think it was on. It was on like actually, I found it the other day randomly, like on ABC or something, and I thought it was a mistake.
Hang on.
Or CBS.
ABC is still a network?
Yeah, one of them. I don't know.
Wow. I never watched anything on ABC in years.
But that sounded like Pat. Do you have something else? Because that's like 0 for 2. That's pretty baseless. Like basketball sucks. College basketball is the worst.
mean-
All of our brackets don't matter.
Oh, but while we're talking about... Can I do my 3 favorite things about NCAA March Madness?
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay.
Get ready to be made fun of.
Okay, so number 1, my favorite thing about March Madness is the questions my wife's asked me. My wife asks me.
wives?
Your wives.
My
Oh!
wife. God, I cannot handle more than one.
How French
You know that.
How French of you.
Do you live in Utah?
No. No. So number 1 is the questions my wife asks me.
Good
My favorite is
clarification.
when she comes downstairs. It was today, so it was the 3rd day, and she's like, "So what are we doing today?" And I'm like, "Watching basketball." She's like, "There's more basketball?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Are you
For a
gonna watch it
long
all
time.
again?" I'm like, "Yes." Why wouldn't I?
So, Pat, I have a quick question for you. I know in your basement for a fact that you have TVs on both sides of the basement.
Yes.
Okay. So, for some reason, you were watching basketball. You sent me a picture on the screen and the computer below. Why did you not plug the computer into the second TV?
Why didn't you have the multiplex on the second TV?
And then,
Because then I would have had to. Don't know.
yeah, because
That's a very
as
good
you know,
point.
as someone who has 2 TVs
Yes.
right in front of him.
That was a bad move by me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, but I was like, maybe there's a
You know what?
reason.
It was okay because it was I had one big game on there, and then I was just kind of flipping between.
Because what
them
you
all
do
in front
is
of
you
me.
just take your phone, you cast
I'm-
TSN to 1.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
now.
figureitout.com, bud.
Another question my wife asked me, and this will get a good giggle out of Jordan because he had a good time with these jokes. She goes, "Is a team really called Oral Roberts?" Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
The jokes that flew
I don't
over
Moorhead and Oral Roberts.
and Colgate.
I don't want to
and
talk.
Colgate.
I don't want to talk about Oral Roberts.
Why? Because they ruined your bracket?
Yeah, not only did they ruin my bracket, but they also defeated my school. So it was a double whammy right in the face.
Yeah.
Jordan's alma mater, Ohio State.
I only claim Ohio State football and wrestling. I do not claim
some reason,
hashtag Big Ten Network.
For some reason, when we were doing our bracket at work, because we did a bracket together, I was like, Ohio State. I said, they're probably a wagon.
I strongly
probably a
contend
wagon,
Ohio
man.
State was a great pick as a 2 seed because they were they didn't live up to their potential, but when they did, they played the best teams in the Big Ten.
I will
multiple
concede
times.
they probably should have beat Oral Robert. That's a school name. I can't.
funny,
Why would you want to go to Oral Roberts?
It's like Julia Roberts having a good time.
Wow. The next thing I do enjoy about March Madness is
Don't be condescending about my joke.
I wasn't. I laughed.
That wow was what you say to a kid when he does something mildly entertaining.
This is why you suck
That's
and
what
I
that
hate you.
was.
This is why.
That's what it was.
Anyways.
Both of you, I want genuine laughter. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
3,
okay.
Be funny.
2, 1. Oh, I have to think of a different Roberts then. Julia Roberts didn't land. I didn't even know any other Roberts.
Gary Roberts.
Oh, it's like Gary Roberts having a good time. Fucking laugh, Matt!
No.
All right. So next thing I love
I'm
is
not cutting that. I'm not cutting it.
next thing I love is bracket talk, because everyone makes a bracket, and then hearing people say, like, when someone picks an underdog and that underdog wins, they're the smartest person in the room, and they always follow it up with, "I told you." No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You didn't tell me anything.
Nah,
No,
nobody said
because
anything
no
about
one's
it.
sharing their bracket beforehand because we're all competing in the same pool.
Yeah,
for the
they're all
same
competing,
amount
and
of
then when
money.
you're right, you feel like you could show it, and you're like, "I was the smartest person."
First
in
of
the
all,
room.
no one who's doing well this year did it like. I know people who do like 2 serious brackets and then do what I like to call a send it bracket,
Like
which
the chaos,
is like
the chaos
the
bracket.
chaos bracket. And this year, chaos brackets are probably doing very well.
So the pool we're in at work, it's winner take all, except if you finish in last, you get your money back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, why don't we make 2?
And then make the third
And
one
just
like
bomb them.
all
And then the
16,
second one,
15
like,
seeds,
just-
14
just
seeds.
pick
and
all
just
upsets.
Murder
Yeah.
show.
And the guys were like, well, then we'd win our money back. We'd still be down $10. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. Now I'm like looking at our bracket, and I'm like, we should have done that.
We should have done that.
At least we would have, come out.
So I screwed up this year because brackets came out and it's been such a weird year that I didn't do what I always do, which was my cardinal rule, which is I pick in 3 brackets, I pick 3 12 seeds, 3 11 seeds, and 3 10 seeds,
Smart.
all to win in different rotations. So
Yeah.
I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
I just know upsets are coming.
Yeah.
And I just forgot to do that and just went like off the top of my head. And the regret factory that I'm currently living in is stark.
Yeah, but to keep going with that, what happens is everyone sees that one team. Everybody's like, Matt, you didn't really watch college basketball. What team is the team this year?
like the best team?
Yeah.
Gonzaga.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's Gonzaga, right?
So yeah, everybody knows that. So I love the bracket. I picked Gonzaga to win my bracket, and I go, why? They're just a real solid team. No, they're the best team in the nation, and you watched one episode of Sports Center.
But doesn't that mean they're probably going to lose? Like historically?
No, Gonzaga is not losing.
Are
They're
they
just
that
not.
good?
They're just not.
At this point, especially with all the upsets,
Yeah.
I know very little about college basketball, but I will say with all the upsets, there's a real good chance Gonzaga's going to win.
I am shocked like
They
multiple
average
times.
like 88 points a game.
They smoke
The
everybody.
stark difference in like center sizes in college basketball. Like I'll be watching a
Oh,
game
yeah.
and I'll be like, "Fucking someone like age check that man." Like
I know.
My favorite is that Loyola guy. Who,
Yeah.
He looks
Kerwin.
like Farva from
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and the best part was the fun fact about him: he carries a harmonica everywhere.
Yeah, that and a liter of cola.
I mean,
goddamn
leader of cola.
Say shenanigans one more time, and I'm going to pistol whip you.
What would you do with $10 million and you can't say buy the Cleveland Cavaliers? That was the best thing ever.
Hey, Farvo, what's that wrestling with all the crazy shit on the wall? You mean shenanigans?
Oh,
I'm watching that movie, man. I'm watching that movie after
and the
this.
final thing that I love about March Madness is when everybody becomes a basketball expert. Look,
That's me. That's me. To a
I'm
T.
not an expert, but I made it this point. I lost March Madness last year. I watched from the season starts to now. I'm fairly confident I know most.
I
of
can
them.
confidently say you've watched more college basketball games this year than I have in my entire life.
You are to college basketball what I am to college football. I watch like almost as many games as I'm able to consume on a screen, and you do the same thing.
And
every
it's just
weekend.
that's what I do on a Saturday. It's on Saturday. I watch it. I
Right.
try and find ways online to watch them super legally. It's just, but like to hear people like I put my heart and soul into watching college basketball this year.
Yeah.
And for people to say, I really like, I don't know, I'll make up a team. I really like Arkansas in this tournament. I go, oh yeah? Fucking why? And they
Yeah.
go, they're just a real solid team. You don't even know who the coach is.
That's like the most generic thing. That's, I watched SportsCenter once.
all of my bets or all of my bracket picks are based off the football teams. Like I'm like LSU's a 9 seed. They're just 1 year away from moving the football national championship. How could they be a 9 seed? Like I know
to be fair,
it's true.
LSU's not a bad pick this year.
No, but that's what I mean. Like I have no like I'll look at a school and I'll be like, who is Loyola and why are they in
Well, and
Chicago?
I
have
got
no
people
clue.
around me that I know at work, and they're like, I'll come to work tomorrow on Monday, and I'll be like, they'll be like, I can't believe Oral Roberts won, and somebody will say, I could have told you that was going to happen. No, you couldn't.
No.
No.
If I was gonna make basketball bets, if not for the unfortunate March Madness massacre of 2018, where that's why
Damn, you took a beating
I
on
no
that.
longer bet March Madness, I would ask you. That's how much like you've been white hot since, or you've been pretty hot since like
I think
you've
I've
made
lost. I've probably made about 16 bets. I think I've lost 4.
Yeah, Pat's been
This weekend?
Pat's been knife edge hot since
Like smoking. I was on the brink of having to reload the account. No more.
Really?
All day, baby.
yeah. But you know what's gonna happen?
Wow.
We're gonna get to the Elite Eight. And Jordan's gonna get itchy, and he's gonna go, Pat, I want your best, and I'm gonna get fucking, I'm gonna get forward, I'm gonna get forward, and then I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna be like, I should have bet UFC again, because that's the second thing I do well, but
Yeah.
I can't wait to.
But that's
that's
just
how
my
Pat-
little spiel. I thank you. You guys are allowing me to do this. You know how much I love it. But those are my 3 things.
Yeah.
I love that people watch NCAA March Madness, but like to get texts and see people say they knew this, they knew that. No, you didn't.
Is the bracket like like you know how people like we don't give a fuck who's on your fantasy football team? I feel like brackets are approaching that point for me.
No, I honestly, I think
I
brackets,
don't want to hear people talk about
I think
their
brackets are so quick that people are always into brackets.
Yeah, but I think also like every year it's the same thing. Like every year it's like someone's like, "Oh, I busted my bracket." It's like, yeah, but it's like the same thing every year. Everyone's bracket died.
It's a posh thing at this point. It's something that you don't even need to know anything about college basketball, and you just fill out a bracket. It's like, hey, you want to fill out a bracket? Yeah, okay.
It takes 2 seconds, and especially now when it's online.
Oh, it's
you're
so
clicking.
fast.
It takes you 2 seconds.
Okay. You know what really fucked me this year? They gave me stats.
Oh yeah, that's big.
No,
Yeah.
they absolutely hooped me because I was like, oh, what's this little I button? Information?
Yeah, we did a lot
Jordan's
of that.
math brain was like, ooh. So I opened it up and I'm like, oh, points per game. And
we knew that the Big 10 and the Big 12 were good conferences.
good conferences.
Oh, they were 4 and 10 in the Big 12.
Jordan may or may not have calculated when teams were playing if the points per game would be able to match up with a slight variable with the points defended per game. And because I tried to math it, I picked all favorites. And once again,
That's how they get you.
that's how they got
That's
me.
how they
So
get
I went away from my cardinal rule because numbers were in front of me. And when I get numbers, I get off track
And
of
Jordan
my
said he
gut.
picked all favorites.
Most
Excuse me.
favorites. Mostly favorites.
But,
We haven't done that in a
been a
while.
minute. But, Pat, confirm this for me.
Confirm or deny, Pat.
This was one of the... Like, the favorites weren't necessarily the favorites because not everybody played everybody,
It's a shit show.
right?
So what I would compare it to, so 2 years ago, the tournament went pretty chalk. There was a couple teams that
That was a great year for me as someone who did the opposite.
there was
that year.
there was a couple upsets, but for the most part, I think it was the first. I think that was the year all 4 seeds made it to the Final Four.
all 4 1 seeds.
All 4 1
All
seeds.
four.
Yes.
And so they made it to the
Definitely
Final Four.
wasn't
So
the 4
everybody was
seeds.
like, "Oh, probably this is a total tire fire." I had
I think they said
absolutely no expectations.
They said
that
it was
I would
the
have a good
first
bracket.
time a 15, a 14, a 13, and a 12 all won in the round of
Yeah,
the 64.
for the first
For
time,
the first time ever.
the only seed that wasn't in the second
16.
round was a 16.
Yeah, first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
So it was.
Thanks a lot, Ohio
So
State.
I they go again Monday, and then I get a little bit of a break, and then they go another weekend, and it's the greatest thing ever. The wife not happy, understandable, gonna get her a big gift, but
This felt like me trying to watch like Briar curling, where I like never really watched it before, and then
Did you bet on it?
no, thank God, because I knew the guys on the Manitoba
Yeah.
team, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this.
oh, can you pick up that name? Dropped it.
Oh, I don't have enough hands to pick up the names. But between that, like, I was like, why is there 3 draws a day? It's like, what? And okay, so here's a pet peeve I have. It's curling, okay?
correct.
TSN has 59 channels. You're telling me you can't put a camera with no commentators down the rink and I can just watch whatever game I want? Like, why is it that they have a feature game and then every once in a while they like zip over to another rink?
That is what
just put it online and let us stream
like.
it.
There's a lot of baseball nerds out there, and they're not showing every spring training game for every team on their network. And like I was listening to some
Blue Jays fans
podcast,
are big mad about that.
and they're like, "Why don't they just put a camera behind home plate? That's all I want. Like they don't want all the shots and all the commentary. Just I want to watch every game." As some people are saying.
Yeah, and so the curling thing mystified me. I mean, plus
Don't
today
even
they
get started
actually.
on spring training.
Oh yeah, you can't be at
Matt,
Dident.
not only can you not be there, but they had a game on TV today, which
Yeah,
is
I
great.
watched.
You watched it? Because
Saw
I
it,
turned
yeah.
it on and
But
saw
Tanner
Tanner
Roark is
Rourke and
garbage.
turned it right back off. Like I was like, no, I don't need to be here.
But it's coming 2 weeks. 2 weeks opening day.
My dad called me. He's like, "So who's this guy pitching for the Blue Jays?" I'm like, "Don't worry, you won't need to know his name in a
Yeah.
few weeks."
But aren't they hiding guys from the Yankees? Because which is so dumb. And then they walk out or Cole, and he's just like, "LOL, you can't hit me. I don't care if you see me or not." And he's just dusting them with sliders.
But transition now. I know you two were very excited. I had a little taste of it yesterday.
Ooh.
It's barbecue season.
Oh, it's It's
let's
so
let's
there.
take a turn into Matt's
It's
meat corner.
So there.
I love that name.
I like it. Matt's meat.
Matt's meat corner.
Could be talking about something else.
Yeah, but we're not. We're talking about meat. So Matt, you had a very look. If you like meat, we're gonna talk about it right now. Matt, what did you make this weekend?
I
and how
can't
did it
wait
go?
to clip the last 15 seconds of this podcast.
Don't. I discovered 2 things.
Ooh.
Well, I did one thing and discovered another one. I discovered Boulevard Meats. Shout out Boulevard Meats.
That's in Southdale.
Yes.
Nice.
I know. I'm really hoping for a sponsorship from there. 'Cause
Ooh.
then we could get like tons of meat. So, hey, Boulevard Meat.
Figure it out.
I mean, you probably listen. Everybody listens.
Yeah, who doesn't?
We're the most important podcast in the South End of Winnipeg.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, guys, hold on. I just got an alert. We have 316 hours left of recording space.
Good. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, just in case you're... Go ahead, Matt. Thank
I
you.
don't know if it'll be enough time. I don't know if I'll...
No, Matt, just try to keep this short. We only
Okay.
have 316 hours left. Your gaps take up 312 hours.
But then I smoked a brisket. First one of the year. The last 2 I did last summer. Wasn't super happy with. So shout out Demier. Asked for a little bit of advice from my buddy who smoked a lot of briskets, had a lot of success, and this one turned out muy bieno.
So I have,
Bueno?
a few
Bueno.
questions. So I've learned all my barbecue smoking techniques from numerous videos of that guy from Austin, Texas.
Which one?
The main dude with the black glasses.
Was it on the YouTube?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is
That-
this on the YouTube?
It was on the YouTubes.
Right.
Because I have a smoker I'm excited to use for the first time this year as well. Did you cut your own briskets or did you get one pre-cut?
So I got a...
Or
untrimmed-
last year? Tell me what you did last year and then what you did this year.
Every year I've ordered them, and I usually get the flat, so there's the point and the flat.
Yeah. So you just get a small, like you don't get a big, like the whole...
I don't get the packer.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So a packer
okay.
brisket is an untrimmed, like the full brisket. I've never gotten that. They intimidate me.
I'm
scared of that
That's
much
the
meat.
first thing I want to do because I'm psychotic and I want to like try.
Now I
that,
want to
try
after
that.
I did this. So
Yeah.
I usually get the flat and I get it trimmed. And I do find that I've been getting them trimmed too much, and that was the problem. Mm-hmm. So I found one at Boulevard for relatively cheap, and it was an untrimmed flat. So I asked the guy about trimming it up, and I trimmed up my own, and I kept more fat on it than I think I've ever had on a brisket. And oh my god,
So good, right?
oh my god, I will never. If I get a trimmed brisket,
Yeah.
I will tell them like I want fat on that. Bad boy.
That's the reason why, like, when I've seen other people do it in person numerous times, but I finally, I'll admit, like, wasn't even my own, like, my whole family banded together and got me a smoker for whenever we buy this house. And I feel like trimming the brisket, the one thing I've heard is people over trim the brisket like crazy because they like try to be too precise. But the fat is what renders and keeps that moisture in,
And then
right?
even the fat that doesn't render just ends up being
it's so
just
good.
it's so
Just-
good. It's salty goodness.
It's
May
amazing.
I'm not going to contribute a lot here because I don't really cook a lot of meat. Can I say one thing about brisket?
Sure.
I think brisket.
Hold on.
It better be
Careful.
It's
I understand. Like I'm not saying brisket is good. I will eat brisket. Is super good. Burnt ends, fantastic.
but what?
Can I say I think brisket might be the most overrated kind of meat?
Kind of beef or kind of meat?
Meat.
That's
but
staunchly incorrect.
Hang on. I just think it's because I overhype it in my head before every time that I eat it. I had brisket this weekend. It was good. But in my head, I'm taking it to a whole nother level, and I feel like are my expectations too high with brisket?
I think like Matt, like to do a proper brisket, like it's that you just like you're only getting a part of it. Like, what are you supposed to do, right? Like, if you don't have a smoker that's like,
you can braise it.
yeah,
but-
there's like a lot of different things you can do, but it's not like a casual hobby, and briskets aren't cheap either, right? So it's like,
the one I got was.
yeah, but that's the tough part is like, you know, if you're gonna get like a refrigerator type smoker, like it's gonna do it a little different, and then they're also really finicky. Like every brisket's different, and then there's different techniques, and you really have to like. I think it takes numerous briskets for you to get pretty good
Speaking
at
of techniques,
Yeah.
I've always done fat cap up, and that's how I did this one. Mm-hmm. Demier told me next time try fat cap down.
Yes.
And I will be trying that next time.
So what I do know is this, is that they say for the smoker you have and the stack smoker I got, they say fat cap down because of where the heat's coming from.
Yeah.
But on those like the train smokers, you want to do fat cap up because of the offset.
And just so you're aware, we'll be having an offshoot of our YouTube page, Matt and Jordan Cook Meat. That will be our next channel.
That would be
I just
sick.
thought of this in my brain, and I think I'm just going to do this to Matt one day in the future. I think at some point I'm just going to show up at like 6 in the morning with a full brisket and my smoker
Let's
in
go.
Matt's backyard and just look at him and go, and like just hold a knife and be like,
Because
"You're
it's,
up."
it's very clear
Like-
Matt will be awake for an hour before that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
might show up and be like, Matt, I've done a few, just go nuts, like do a
Yeah,
full
the next
brisket,
time,
see what happens.
Sobeys has
Shout out Sobeys.
Packers.
Miller's isn't much more money, and it's a better cut of meat. Like I've
Yeah.
checked, it's not too much more.
So now we are firmly in on the let's get sponsored by a meat place.
Yes,
I mean, why not?
I mean, if you're listening, which they are. I mean,
Yeah.
And
obviously.
then, by the way, I had steak again today. So, like, my insides were not happy with me.
I had steak today.
Wait a second, what?
What'd you have?
I remember. Oh no!
I had a Wagyu steak today.
Isn't it pronounced ragu?
Isn't it? No. That's isn't that a pasta sauce?
Yeah, it is.
Is that a pasta?
Correct.
I had
So-
Wagyu today, and I am ready to break it down on this very podcast. If you would like me to talk about it,
So, first of all, Pat, and for our listeners who don't know what
Matt,
Wagyu is,
please break down what a Wagyu steak.
Wagyu comes from Japan, and it is from the black cattle. So, black cattle have a high,
We promise not to talk about race on this podcast.
but they colored
Matt,
black.
we
Anyways,
promised-
they have because of the way they eat, they have a higher fat content, and there's more marbling in the steak, and it's more expensive. So, actually, in Canada, there's the Kobe Beef Association.
More
Yeah.
than a
Because there's
Wagyu.
different cows from different areas that take on the names. So there's a Kobe Beef Association or Wagyu Beef Association of Canada, and
I feel like there's an association of Canada for
a
everything.
lot of the Wagyu beef we're getting,
That's true.
a lot of the Wagyu beef we're getting is coming from, like here in Manitoba, is coming from Alberta, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Which is fine. I mean, all I know is Johnny, shout out Johnny.
Shout out.
Okay.
Shout out Johnny.
Got given after one of his jobs 4 half-inch Wagyu steaks.
they gave it to him?
Gave it to him as a thank you. 4 half-inch Wagyus.
For
Okay.
those of you scoring at home, that's
Yes.
about,
$200 because they were half
Yeah,
inches, so that's about $200.
I'm sorry, are these
a
made of
steak.
diamonds? I don't
Pretty much.
it's like $50 a steak.
Jesus.
Now, as you know, at Casa de Schofield, we are currently running with a 6-person household at this point, okay? So, that meant we were 2 steaks short. Now, it wasn't fair to everyone that there was only 4, so I volunteered, being the great man that I am, to go out and ascertain a final Wagyu steak, which ran me $70.
Holy shit.
Where'd you go?
I went to Miller's.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The Wagyu steak was 70, okay? That was about a 450-gram steak, half pound. The Kobe version was $110 for the same size ribeye.
Holy fuck.
So here's what I will tell you. I cooked it like I read 6 different websites because when you have a $70 steak,
ain't fucking
you
that
ain't
up.
fucking that up.
No.
So I read 6 different websites and I came to a conclusion on how I was going to cook it. And I don't think my eyes left it for the entire time from
Did you
seasoning.
go top open?
No, I went stovetop based.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Stovetop based. Because apparently with the Wagyu, and this was cool, it started to rip apart. So when you basted the butter, it went into the top, like little fabric or
Sounds
fiber
delightful.
openings.
I didn't know you were going to talk dirty to me today.
Oh, here's the best part. I'm gonna tell you if it's worth it. I'm gonna tell you right now. As you know, I am a value guy. I even raged out JSCO 55 on Untapped. I had a rage tweet about, or a rage post about a lager the other day about if it was valuable. A Wagyu steak is something you should do once in your life, but I would suggest not doing it more than that, because I don't think the difference between like a $70 and a $7 steak is as big as it is. I will say this though, like, you bite it and it is melt in your mouth,
'Cause
unbelievable.
It's mostly fat.
It is night and day better than a normal steak. It truly is. But is it 10 times as good as like a $7 steak, or is it 5 times as good as a $14 steak? No, it's not.
Like, I definitely want to do Wagyu. I also really want to do a tomahawk steak.
That'd be
The one
sweet.
with the big bone
Yeah.
there. But again, yeah, it's not something you're going to be like, oh, this weekend I think I'm going to go grab. You
No.
might do that once and be like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to eat my strip loins now. And
Yeah. I got home
move
and
on
my
with
dad
life.
thought I bought 2 for $70. He's like, "Where's the other one?" I'm like, "No."
This is it.
He's like,
Nay, nay.
"What?" Like, he was appalled at the idea. But like,
Jordan!
it was the only.
What accent was
I
that?
want to
Your accent's just as bad as Matt's.
I want to perfect his accent, but it's so hard.
But like, no, the only reason I got one is because we had 4 more in the basement. So I was like, well, shit, like we're almost there. Like, we might as well suck it up and get one more.
But isn't there 6 people in the house?
So my mom was like,
sure someone
just give me
split.
like a third of the big one. So I gave her a
okay.
third of mine, and because she didn't really like.
Yeah.
It could be Wagyu, Kobe. She's just like whatever, right?
It's a steak, yeah.
But yeah, everyone else was kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know if it's worth that much. And I was in the corner just like, oh my god, like I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so I mean, I suggest everyone, if you have $70 and you're just like, hey, I don't give a shit about fuck, just go.
Shit about fuck.
A wordsmith.
Yes, just go get it. Like, just like it's. I think it's the ultimate send it purchase, where you're just like, you know what? I don't care about anything, and you just go to
I'm going
Miller's
to
Meats.
consume $70.
Yeah, like if you just want to like, I think it's a YOLO food. You
Yeah,
just
big
just
time.
go full send and have a couple roasted veggies with it. You're set.
And a beer.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a beer with it,
I mean, and why we're a beer podcast. Let's
I had an
finish it out with a beer.
apricot beer with that steak, and it was
Interesting.
incredible. Yeah.
All right,
it was,
so
The
let's-
apricot sour.
it was the Duclaw.
Oh,
And
the
you
Duclaw,
can
yeah.
imagine that Matt was the first one to complete his first beer. So Matt, you're gonna lead it
Holy
off.
shit.
What were you drinking
Well-
to start the night?
Oh, Matt was drinking the beer I got mad at a couple weeks ago
Yes,
I
you
couldn't
did, because you couldn't pronounce it. And I went to the LC today and thought, you know what, this beer's only going to be around for so much longer because it's only going to be around for so much longer because it's a Festival du Voyageur beer, and they're obviously not going to produce anymore.
I feel like those didn't.
I didn't know Festival had its own office.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Holy
That's
shit.
relatively new.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I feel like Festival kind of, I mean, it was virtual and stuff, so
Yeah.
it kind of got
Yeah.
tossed to the
Not
side
the
a little
same
bit.
.com.
Like I feel like every
Yeah.
time I go to a beer store, those are still on the shelves.
If they had the park open, I feel like
have
these
been gone.
would have been absolutely
Yeah.
massacred.
Yeah.
So I got Saison de la Ceinture Fléchée from Half Pints Brewing Company.
Pardon me.
I know, right? 5.5%, 35 IBU. It's a Saison. And I'm not always a huge fan of the Saisons, but if I'm going to enjoy one, it needs to have 2 characteristics. It needs to have a spice factor to it, and it needs to be citrus forward. So some of the Saisons will get kind of like almost funky and bitter for no reason. This
Sounds
one,
like Pat.
Sounds like this beer I'm drinking this week. You just wait up.
So this one is definitely spicy. You get the spice right off the hop. You also get fruit and that citrus in there for sure. What's kind of interesting about this is it has that dry finish. I've been really starting to notice beers that finish a little drier because I do drink a lot of IPAs, and a lot of those are like juicy on the finish or a little danker on the finish. I hate that word.
No, you're very true though.
So when it is dry, I'm always like, oh, okay, it's done there. It's like almost like a wine. So
If you're not an aftertaste person, you want to aim for a dry beer finish.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I am,
Which is not an IPA thing.
yeah, and I'm used to that. I've always kind of been used to that since I really started drinking craft beer, even before I was really into craft beer. This is actually really peppery too. That's the main spice you get.
That's curious. Okay.
So it was really nice. Considering I grabbed it, I was like, ugh, a Saison. Like
I feel the same way about
because
Saisons.
I always grab them because I've had some really good ones, but I've also had some ones that I'm like, it's a chore to finish this. This is more leaning towards the really good ones. It was good. I drank it. It went down easy. What I don't love about Saisons is that yeasty quality, and this was toned down. So yeah, I mean, I want to rate it on Untapped. Follow me at Matt. I noticed that I forgot to say that last week, and that's probably the first time ever. Not like Jordan who forgets everything.
Yeah.
Fucking episode.
So yeah, follow me on Untapped at Matt. I'm gonna give Saison de la Ceinture Fléchée from Half Pints a
Great
3.5.
pronunciation, bud. You
A
fucking nailed
3.5.
that.
It's right in my. It was good. I'd probably pick it up again. Like it's right in that middle.
So 3.5.
3.5.
Okay, that's fair.
I think you made a good point in that we haven't talked about on the podcast before. Is if you have newer beer drinkers or you're a beer drinker who's concerned about aftertaste, because I hear that a lot with
Yeah.
like non-beer drinkers
Yeah,
being like,
definitely.
"Oh, I don't like the aftertaste." When you go look for craft beers, try to pick out ones that have a dry finish,
Yeah.
right? So like the Phantasm Powder, which you're going to see more and more, which Kilter's pushing, that's a dry finish.
Yeah.
Which was a mind fuck.
Yeah, like-
it's a triple
the low
IPA
life,
with
like
a
the low
dry
lives
finish.
are going to be dry finishes, even
find-
though those are going to be some funky ass
I find
flavors.
that's the first question I get. Like, I get asked for a lot of beer recommendations at work, and it's like, I don't want a weird aftertaste at the end.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that dry finish, that's a good word to
I
use.
feel like we
Yeah.
should, but that's the thing. Off the top of my head, I can't think of too many. I would say like casual craft beers that have a dry finish. You know what I mean? Like just
Not a lot.
no. That's kind of why it's like it's hard to pick. Like if someone was, because even 1919, which is
Pretty good.
pretty good. That has like a bit of not in a bad way, but it's like there's just not a lot of beers that are finishing dry. Like if I was gonna make a brewery, I would actually exclusively do craft beers that focus on dry finishes. That's
Yeah.
like that would be my
Yeah.
like thing.
Yeah, you could be like the beginner draft or craft beer.
Yeah, or
drinker.
just like the easy, like you could still do an 8% Doppelbock that has a dry finish, right? Like
Yeah, like
you
I
just,
don't know the science behind it, but I'm sure that's
it's
a
possible,
possibility.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know. I think that was a really good like point to call out because that's the first time I think we've talked about it.
No, for
and that's like something where we hear a lot about complaints about beer.
All right, Jordan, you're up next. You went to home base.
Oh,
this
I did
week.
go to home base. Not often I go to home base.
I'm excited for
nowadays,
this
but
because
did.
I want to pick this up.
So, I am going to do the Horseshoe Hefeweizen from Canada Brewing Company. I haven't had the chance to review a lot of Hefs on here, but I am a huge Hef fan. The reason why is,
Clearly, you have a nickname for them.
yeah.
Shout out, Playboy.
Hefs are known for banana and spicy cloves
Interesting.
with subtle sweetness, and I am favorite fruit is a banana. I love my spices. It just all lined up. Like I saw this beer. I think the first time I had one was in at like a beer store somewhere in Toronto, and then ever since then I've been catching them
So,
ever since.
quick question before you carry on.
Shoot.
So they're not. I always think Hefeweizen and think to a wit beer. It's not the same.
No, so Hefeweizens
Okay.
have notes of banana, and then
So a lot less
depending
citrusy notes.
No, so not. So here's the interesting part. So notes of banana, but the spices typically, traditionally, are taken from like Bavarian bratwurst sausages.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like when you
Fuck off,
So
really?
this. So I'll say for this, like for the Horseshoe, this is a very introductory Hefeweizen, right? Like you're gonna drink it, and it's very like nice, calm notes of banana. The spices are like almost too subtle for me, but I get where they're going with this because they're not aiming for like Captain Hefeweizen like me, who like wants to like an 8% Hefeweizen.
I feel like
that's gonna knock you
TransCanada
on
does
your
that
ass.
really well.
They're
where-
very good at introductory. They'd be my main competition as a brewery.
Yeah,
would probably
'cause I
be, like
really
the
do-
casual introductory beers.
Because that's what they. I feel like if somebody's a first-time craft beer drinker or a casual craft beer drinker, I'm gonna direct them more towards like a TransCanada style because it is a lot more milder taste and
Right.
more approachable. I think is the word.
So
word.
I think
Love
this
that
is
fucking word.
this is a great beer. This is gonna get like not a. So I know what I'm gonna score it already, but I'm gonna preface it by saying like if you're not someone who drinks a lot of Hefs and wants to just give it a run, this is a great starting point. I will say though that like if you are a Hefeweizen person, there are other Hefs out there that are going to be like strong, tons of flavor, higher alcohol percentage. probably come in some sort of weird bottle with words you don't understand. But yeah, that's basically what this is. But
What's
this
the
is
ABV on that?
It's only 4.5%,
Okay.
but like it's not a bad thing. It's just like
Yeah.
they're definitely launching this for people to try, like to
Yeah,
get started
absolutely.
with. So for an introductory hef, I'm gonna give it a 3.25. Again, that's not saying it's like
That's
bad
a
for
good
me.
Jordan score.
That's an average Jordan score. It just means like on my ranking system, if I get a hold of a better hef, it gives me room to scale, which Pat knows is my main gripe with how he rates things. So 3.25,
Wild
really
West with
good
Pat.
introductory hef, and if you want to go give it a try, I highly suggest you do. So, Pat, over to you, sir.
All right, I'm gonna finish the. I am in a big.
Boys, we've been super educational today. Has
Yes, we
anyone
have.
noticed how fucking like
We've made
serious
fun of
we've
each
gotten?
other a lot less today.
Matt appreciates.
we started
that.
out hot, and then we kind of went like, let's talk about. Some
Well,
stuff.
Pat was just last week was like put a bullseye on his back by saying that he wasn't short.
Yeah, that
like
was
that
dumb.
was like
I did enjoy all the attention.
taking care. I knew it.
But you guys had some pretty straightforward beers. Look, here's the deal.
That's so funny.
I am.
Every time you touch a low life, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be 20 minutes of trying to explain what the fuck's going on.
I'm on a big low life kick. I picked some up right before he came. I just I have to try all of them because I just don't know. I like them all and I don't know why. Okay, so I have the low life barrel house. I picked up the holy fuck, the Tempestarii maybe.
No, wait, let me see it quick. Is that the Tempestarii? Yeah,
Tempestarii.
Tempestarii.
Okay, Tempestarii, sure, but there's an R there. Whatever, it's cool. It's a New World Saison. I don't know what that is, man. It's freaking me out.
It's a Saison, but for the new world.
Okay, sure. So it on the can, just buckle the fuck up. A Foeder aged. Okay. Raspberry, I know that word.
Ooh.
And you taste raspberry.
Okay,
It's pretty good.
that's
And
something.
holy Christ, hooked on phonics. Here we go. Breton no mice. Mices.
What the? You know what's funny too?
I don't know what's in this.
Pat, if you couldn't see the can, what would you think the can would look like if you read all of that and you couldn't see the can? Like, what would the can look like
it
to you?
would have so much color
Yeah,
on it.
and this can's just like it looks
just
like
white.
it looks like someone at Nonsuch forgot the
Hey.
background.
And look,
like,
and look, shout out to Lowlife. They moved into their new space. I know that's beer
yeah,
news.
congratulations, congratulations.
Daily Street. I
One,
believe?
that's one less thing I have to touch,
Daily?
so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got the funk that you come to know about Low Life.
Yeah.
You can taste the raspberry. I don't know what's in this.
You know what's funny? That company is the most like just not me. Like everyone I've had, I'm like, there's something good here. It's just not for Jordan. Like it's not for me.
And see,
And
when
Pat fucking loves
Yeah.
them.
And you know
Every
what,
time.
Jordan? And you would like this. I would think you like this. It's 8.1%.
That's the only beer of all of the ones I've had that I would like. If someone gave it to me,
It's-
I would drink a second,
it's
and
a-
it has nothing to do with their quality. I just don't like
It's an
Saisons.
absolute unit. I can't say anything more because I'm so confused of what's in it. Like every time I drink,
It was a good
from
beer.
Low Life,
It was a good beer.
It's quite delicious. Scaling.
Oh.
I don't even know what to do with this. It's good, but it's not like in the fours.
I
good.
think you have to scale for low life. Like I think you just have to kind of like think about the other low lives.
If I
and
could
then-
look with this beer, I would do like retro review scoring. It would be like a 3.82 or something. But I'm gonna give this. You can follow me on tap at Pat.
I know what
Gagne.
you're gonna give it now
Yeah, I
that you
do
said
too.
that.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna go 3.75.
it's not one of those things where it's like I'm gonna go find this every time. But the fact that I'm drinking it, I'm not disappointed. I just don't know how to read what's on the can.
That's a brewery in the city that you need.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to be like, they're not ever going to be
There is
the
a-
kilter for me, but like,
There
you
is a
need
market.
them to exist.
There is a market for
100%
this.
there's a market.
It's
And
so...
they got it. They have their own facility now, and I wish them the best of luck. And I want to try it all.
honestly,
Like,
I
God,
feel
God
like
respect their commitment to that type of beer. Like, they
I
are
feel
doubling,
like them
tripling
getting a
down
tap
on it.
room might be what brings me in because then you can take
Yeah.
Taste.
They
You
need
get a flight.
food. They need food at that
You get a
tap
flight
room,
and you
though.
need a food.
You
Yeah.
do need a food if you're serving
Hey.
8.1% Saisons. Like, you
Yeah.
need
You
very
You can get a
specific
flight
food.
and maybe a pint.
Oh.
Stop it.
No, you know what? That's actually a really good point. Like, I think the food part of a tap room is so underrated, and some tap rooms don't make a point of it. And I really like.
Well, guys, look.
Really
we are
object to
making
that.
a decree right now. This summer, we will go to every brewery that has.
Oh,
a
if
space
we're allowed to, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
we're gonna
So,
fire this back
yeah,
up, including the beer can.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, but I'm a man.
So
Oh,
quick.
See,
So,
that was almost
Matt,
Jamaican.
stop
That was
it!
almost Jamaican.
Cease and desist.
to review, I had the Tempestarii.
You know what? I'm probably getting it wrong too. I just say it with
That
confidence.
sounds right.
Right? The key is just
Low
to say
life.
it like you know.
Low Life, if you're listening, please message us and let us know how to pronounce it. From Low Life Barrel House, I gave it a 3.5 on Untapped. You can follow me at Pat Gagne. Ooh, stumbling a little bit. Matt had the Saison de la Ceinture Fléchée from Half Pints.
I'm just glad my name's like
He gave it a 3.5 on Untapped. You can follow him at Gagne Matt with those tastes. And Jordan at JSCO55 had the TCB Horseshoe Hefeweizen. He gave it a 3.25 on Untapped.
That's a precursor to my rocket ship.
And now we will go to Jordan for a very quick Winnipeg Beer News of the Week.
Thank you, Patrick. This one is going to be quick because we've mentioned a few of these things before. We're going to start off with a double shot from Kilter. Secret Weapon version 2 with that Phantasm powder. Phantasm must have some good marketing because they get a big chunk of the back of the can, so I don't know what kind of deals they're putting together, but they're really going for that global branding, which is smart. Kilter also had that Double Slam Jam Space Jam with Secret Fluff stuff. Wow. That was really good if you had a chance to get that.
It was.
So here's what I call the most interesting beer of the week. So Barnhammer had the Afterglow, which is a Frappuccino Blonde. Now normally that is Jordan beer written all over it because I love my coffee and it's 7% and it sounds like easy to drink. Now this was connected to a electro alternative music artist named Rihanna Music. Not the Rihanna, not Pond de Replay, I believe. I believe a different Rihanna. Now the tough part was, and when I went on the website to get this, I had to get something else from the music artist. Lord respect the music artist, but if I don't mess with your music, I'm not gonna buy one beer just so I can get something else with it. But you know what? Cool. I love that they're trying some new stuff. Afterglow, hopefully they release it.
They do a lot of that kind of stuff, and you know, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. I hope it works. It helps people get exposure. But I mean, for me, it's tough to kind of pull the trigger on that. But now scrolling down, Low Life. We mentioned that they're getting a new spot, which is awesome. We have Torque Brewing this Saturday. They are released the 2021 edition of Fake News. This is a monster of a rich, velvety Russian Imperial Stout with some smoky notes.
So good.
If you haven't had one of those, what percentage is that, Matt? 13?
10.5.
10.5. Yeah, those are something. And finally, as we said, Stone Angel Beer, a short one this week, coming out with the Blue Note. I surmised a few weeks ago that this was a blueberry ale. It is not. It's a session ale. But you're going to get some Mosaic, Amarillo and Heifertal Blanc hops. So what you're getting in there is Amarillo and the Blanc, I think is those grape hops or something like that, or grape age. Yeah. But yeah, that's what you're getting this week. But yeah, a little less of a local beer news this week. But that usually means next week I'm going to lose my voice trying to do the next one. So Pat, back to you in the main studio.
Thank you, Jordan. Hell of a first segment, fellas. And when we come back, we're going to do some wet breads and rocket chips.
Oh, Michael, this is going to be fun to watch.
We're back. It's time for a little wet bread and rocket chip action. We're going to start with some wet breads this week.
Wet breads.
Wet breads.
So Matt, you eyed me up there, and it seems like you're ready to go. So Matt,
I am ready to go.
Wet bread of the week.
So I briefly went through. I did the old PVR watching of wrestling this week, where you PVR stuff and then you just hammer the skip button. So you basically watch it 10 seconds at a time.
Right.
And then all of a sudden AEW, I stopped on it, not because I liked it, because it got me mad. There was a 10-man tag on AEW.
Oh, that was a shit show.
That was not good.
Not great.
It was not good. And that got me thinking, you know what really grinds my gears?
Tell me.
And this is not an AEW thing. This is just a wrestling thing in general, is time filler matches.
Yeah.
I understand you got to produce a certain amount of TV every week, but you cannot tell me that
with the roster sizes now.
With the rosters in both companies, because AEW has a lot of people,
a lot of guys.
They throw bangers on Dark.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you can't produce some kind of 2 or 3 week story arc for TV alone, so that they can then have a meaningful match.
Do they need another show?
They'd have 3.
Yeah, but do they need another TV show, one that people don't view as second fiddle or third fiddle?
I think at this point, YouTube is so not second fiddle. Everybody watches YouTube, so I think.
Yeah, but does everyone think of AEW like dark? Doesn't that inherently make you think by the name that it's
dark matches?
Dark matches, and then what's the other one they're
Dark
doing?
Elevation.
So now you're adding dark again. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you know what dark means. It tells you it's not the main show.
But
outright.
That's essentially my point. Is like, do you not have confidence in these other talents?
Like you're telling me you can't put Scorpio Sky in a match every week?
But my concern is
exactly. You can't put Ricochet out there against Mustafa Ali and just have him tear the house down once a week.
My wonder is like,
WWE,
I think you make a fantastic point, but like, do you think it's like all these tag teams are in the back, like, well, what the hell are we doing here for not getting TV time? And then they're like, well, you know how we make a bunch of people happy at once? I'll tell you, get on out there. And then everybody has a little rubber.
That was the classic.
Teddy Long
for years. Well, Teddy Long, but for years.
It wasn't Teddy Long.
That
like,
was
you're facing the Undertaker.
That was the. You're going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. You're tagging with the Undertaker.
No wonder he's broken down. Teddy had to fucking roll it out there every week.
But that was the classic time filler match on Mania every year for the women. It would be like an 8-man tag or an 8-woman tag.
Yeah.
So right, Matt.
But like, what's the point? I'd rather not watch. Like, is that just giving people? Is that the let me up? Well, there's no fans. Nobody needs to go get popcorn.
It's true.
So why are you putting this filler match on?
The only thing I can think of is to keep people happy. But I skipped that. I skipped that whole match. I just saw like it said
good because I saw a 10-man tag and I was like, I need to watch
10-man tag
this.
and I just went like fast forward.
Yeah, it's just
It got to the finish, hit play.
pisses me off.
That was it.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna jump on the grape train with you. The grape train with you.
I love
with
it good. You know what really grinds my gears.
Yeah, you know
And
what
that'll
really-
never go out of style.
You know what really grinds my gears about wrestling? This is my wet bread.
You have to say it with more stank. You get.
More. This grinds my gears.
Thank you. Now I'm
You
invested.
put some stank on it.
My issue,
Like a Ron Simmons spine.
we are
buster.
recording on Sunday, like basically near the tail end of Fastlane.
Sunday Fun Day, baby.
I don't care for the last pay-per-view before Mania. The fact that you don't need pay-per-view buys anymore, it feels like a waste of time. Can all these matches have happened on their weekly show? Yeah.
Yes.
I just feel like you hype it up and it's like, I don't care to watch Fastlane. So my big gripe is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. I don't think it's necessary. We're getting a shit ton of wrestling in the next couple weeks. You don't need that last pay-per-view.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Do they run? I don't watch these pay-per-views. Do they run other commercials aside from their own shit on these pay-per-views? Like
They're sponsored, right? So that just brings in money. I get that.
okay, because my legit question was like, do we see a reduction in pay-per-views because if people are all subscribed to the network anyways?
Well, it's
do they
Peacock
need-
now too. I don't know.
Oh right.
And they still do pay-per-view buys.
Well, yeah, in like Europe, right?
But doesn't
Hey,
Sky Sports
everywhere.
doesn't Sky Sports have the contract for that now?
Maybe,
Which is an
I
online.
don't know.
It's a.
But anyways,
Yeah, I guess.
getting off track. Mine's quick. Fastlane, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. I just feel like it's a waste of time. It doesn't grab my attention. I'm ready for WrestleMania. Let's fucking go.
You guys mentioned it tonight, and I legitimately was like, "Oh fuck, that's right." Like I forgot it was
Classically speaking, the two worst pay-per-views of the year in WWE are the December pay-per-view, which is right before Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
and the pay-per-view before WrestleMania.
Hot take: the most underrated pay-per-view of the year is the one after
WrestleMania. Yeah, Backlash was always pretty
Backlash.
good.
I think now it's Extreme Rules.
Now it's Extreme Rules. Yeah.
That's after Mania?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, Extreme Rules
after
after
Mania.
me. That was
Well, okay,
Lesnar versus
I
Cena.
had trouble remembering the Big Four the other day, and it's because I kept leaving out Survivor Series. It's because I hate it every year. It's my least favorite pay per view
It used to
every
be
year.
a lot bigger.
It was
deal.
Thanksgiving. It was the
Because
Thanksgiving.
every
pay-per-view.
year it's like, oh, it's Survivor Series month. Forget storylines. We hate the other brand.
Yeah.
And then right after it's like, oh, hey, never mind the other brand. We're back to hating each other.
You cost us the match. I hate you. I hate you too.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
feud.
like the same. It's like Survivor Series should be about like you can make
It's
other
dumb.
things. It doesn't have to be about Raw.
The cliche is
and SmackDown.
gone.
Oh,
it
it's
is.
so gone. They need to just let it go. And as I said, Money in the Bank.
Money in the
should
Bank.
be the third pay per view, but first big one.
Jordan, I didn't see my notes. Do you have a wet bread this week?
I do not have a wet bread
Wow.
this week.
Okay, so why don't you lead off Rocket Chips of the week?
I will lead Rocket Chips of the Week as someone who only watches AEW and NXT. The greatest thing, the thing I've been waiting for so long has happened. Volta
That was
came to
last-
NXT.
What the hell was that?
That
yeah.
was his theme song? Like the
Yeah.
whatever.
Don't ever do that.
That was
Okay.
so. That was.
The
That has
Valkyries?
offended the Jamaican community, and I think Bach. I can't remember. I know the song if I look it up, but I guess like I would know the song if I looked it up, right? Like theoretically, like if I looked up the song,
Put it in your Google machine. Yes.
Yeah. It's like if I looked up a street, I'd know what street it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think, right? So Walter came in the ring. Fuck. Walter came in the ring. I'm not even drunk. I just can't speak. Walter came in the ring. And I instantly was like, this is the greatest day ever. Like, it's going to be awesome.
And then he attacked Tommaso Ciampa.
And Ciampa turned around, and Walter hit him with a chop. And I jumped out my seat. Because it looked like and sounded like Walter caved his chest in.
Oh, God.
And everyone's like, I don't hear leg slaps that sound as loud as those chops. They are incredible. They are fun to watch every time. And I am so excited that he's in NXT now because that means I'll get to watch him every week.
I would still rather take a Walter chop than a like Ric Flair knife edge, though.
That's no.
His hand is so big, it would cover your whole chest.
But I feel like Walter hits with like 6 times the strength of Ric Flair, and that's an exact measurement.
I would encave your chest.
Well, I couldn't, like, when he hit him with that chop, I rewound it and watched it 5 times.
What's up?
It was incredible.
I don't know. You're looking.
Yeah.
Your eyes are like drifting to me. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'll close them.
Long story short, incredible. I'm glad he's here. It automatically became my rocket ship. I didn't really think about anything else. It's the best thing ever. So I will give this back to. I will give it to Pat for his rocket ship.
I want everybody to go home tonight. Go into YouTube, whether you like wrestling or you don't like wrestling.
Oh, that's not the website I thought you were going to tell me to go to.
And I would like you to go
look.
It
is you, though.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's close.
To go look up.
One mistype, right?
Can we have some respect for what I'm about to say?
Okay, because the T is far from the G or the J.
I would like you to look up and rewatch or watch for the first time Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in their Lights Out match. The greatest women's match I have ever seen. Ever.
Okay. Was that just because it was shocking and like I can't believe the women are doing this?
No. I think it was so complete with the storyline. Adding the blood was another level. These two women.
The blood was.
I've never seen more thumbtacks in a person's back in my entire life.
Look.
It wasn't sporadic.
Again, I'm gonna have another hot take. Charlotte Flair is the best women's wrestler in the world. Yes. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker are 2 and 3.
No, again.
Yeah, Sasha Banks is 2.
No, I don't think Sasha Banks could hang with either one of those 2.
I disagree. What? I disagree so strongly.
Maybe I'm riding high off this match.
You are riding very high.
But honestly,
you might be just not even riding. You might just be high.
If Becky was still there,
I've taken Becky out of the ranking system because she's been gone for so long.
I think it goes Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and I think Bayley's even in the conversation.
That's true. And then like Rhea Ripley as a 1B to Charlotte's 1A all time, right?
I forgot about that.
But
Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah,
they
it's been announced
are
Monday.
The most entertaining women to watch in a match together. Take them apart from each other, and I don't think they have
They're the best women's wrestlers on AEW.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, that's because you're not competing with.
But I just think it was that good of a match. It made me think those things, whether they're right or wrong. And anytime a match can do that to you, I think that's an amazing match to even talk about. No, I don't have much to say about it because it was just go watch it. It was so well done. Even with the thumb, I feel like the thumbtacks made sense.
Right.
Which is hard to do.
Well, I can't believe they didn't put the thumbtacks in a body bag and then put them in a body bag.
I feel like because Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa are smarter than that.
I remember watching that with you guys and all of us being like, "What the fuck?"
So yeah, all I wrote, I'm just ad-libbing everything I'm saying because all I wrote underneath Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa in my notes was wow.
Yeah, it was a great match, and I thought one of you would take it, and everyone knows that once Volta came on the screen, that was mine. So
what was your big old rocket ship of the week?
So my rocket ship was actually I saw how the card's shaping up for Mania, and then saw a couple of social media posts, and again, it's more of a wrestling community thing and a wrestling evolution thing. The main events, or the championship matches, I don't know if they'll be the main events, but the championship matches for Mania are shaping up, and I am very excited for them. They are going to be very, very good.
2 days of amazingness.
Like Lashley
and
McIntyre are going to like beat the piss out of each other, and it's going to be great. And then Edge and Roman Reigns, and I'm hoping Daniel Bryan. Let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
are going to tell an amazing story. Those are your main events, hopefully, of both nights. Did you know, though, and this is my rocket ship, this will be the first time in 6 years that a part-timer is not a champion going into Mania.
Thank God.
And I will say...
And I'm a big Brock Lesnar fan.
Yeah, but me seeing how the 2 nights are going to shape out on Mania, I haven't been this excited about matches in Mania for so long. Take out the Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman
Is it
bullshit
Saturday,
because that's gonna be
Sunday,
terrible.
or Sunday, Monday?
Saturday.
Sunday?
It's
Okay.
we are gonna be exhausted. This is gonna be
Yeah.
when is Takeover?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday,
so we're
Thursday.
gonna get one night off.
Hall of Fame is Friday, which I usually watch,
I
but
won't
I'll
watch that.
PVR,
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
care.
2 nights of Mania, and then the Raw after Mania.
Yeah,
What
that's
I
gonna
think
be,
they're going to do, which
that's
is
gonna
going to be
nuts.
great,
I hope it's like 2-hour shots each.
I think they're going to be about 3 hours.
Oh,
But still, 3 hours compared to a 7-hour marathon?
true.
I feel like you can regroup after the first night.
Yes.
The 7 hours, like, okay, second win. Second wins are tough sometimes.
I hope the weather's good because I would just love to be able to like watch it at a socially distanced location.
That's the goal, my friend.
I know.
That's the goal, my
I
friend.
hope so.
I think we can make that happen.
I believe so.
But, yeah, 6 years.
we're gonna have
it's
to
been
figure out how we're gonna record, or maybe not.
Don't shh.
Oh yeah,
After we'll talk about it after.
Okay, surprise. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. ASMR podcast. ASMR.
Are you done?
Where were we?
That was it.
Shit,
I'm just excited. Like, I love Brock Lesnar, but he's a part-timer. There's not
And you
no
got,
way fans are
2 great champions. You got 2 great women's champions. It's
And you
gonna
have
be
challengers.
Yeah.
You have challengers.
great. and the mid card matches are gonna be solid as well.
If are we gonna get Sami Zayn and Kevin
I
Owens
hope so.
at Mania?
I would love it. Even if it's
That-
a pre-show.
That could steal.
Did Sammy
that could-
kick Kevin? I saw a gif. Was that just the other week?
That was this week.
Yeah, Sammy
Yeah.
didn't miss.
No.
Oh, no,
Like
no.
that. In
Because
slow-mo,
you know,
it's like, oh, he
because-
decapitated him.
Because Kevin's like, you
Let's
better
go.
hit me.
Oh, it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
It'll
So
be amazing.
just so we know, next week we're gonna start gearing up for Mania. It's time. It's time to get going. So be ready for that. Mania talk is coming next week. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But I'm gonna be exhausted. So that's it for Wet Breads and Rocket Ships. And when we come back, it's time for a little light side of the ring, fellas.
This is dangerous, JR. This is real dangerous.
All right, fellas, we are back. So back. Jordan, Matt liked that. Matt liked that joke. We're gonna leave that.
The best jokes I make are
Yeah.
the ones that don't
You know what?
that aren't first.
Don't tell him the joke because I like there to be a little mystery to the pod.
Yeah. Also, the jokes that you guys don't hear are for a reason because I can't tell these jokes.
I can't stop.
Can I tell you something? I said that to my cousin's significant other once, and it went very poorly.
Oh man, yeah. There's only
Very
select
poorly.
people that you can say that to.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are with our third time around. Oh, get buckled in.
Oh,
On the microphone.
there's
No?
a beer mishap. Well, this computer's had
Well-
so many beers on it over the years.
Officially our third installment of Lite Side of the Ring. I'm very happy about this one. This was fun for me. I really enjoyed deep diving into this one. So
When you sent the show notes or whatever,
This
is that
had
what-
to
is that
be-
what we're calling
yeah,
it?
we're calling show
Yeah,
notes.
show notes.
Yeah, and you were like, this is what we're doing. I was like, let's go.
And there's a lot you could go through. So I picked the best of the bunch. Well, my favorites, anyways, to kind of go over. So what this week we're doing is weddings in wrestling.
Yes.
Now, weddings, the beauty, the love, the excitement, it's generally the greatest day of someone's life. Until you have kids, I guess. I mean,
Matt's like, you
No,
know, you
no.
can keep it real.
No, kids are the greatest moment of your
Yeah,
life.
drag your kids right now. I want them to grow
with,
up, listen
with
to
my
this, and feel
with
like
my
shit.
situation because of COVID.
Situation.
I've had
Situation.
I'm going to be
Situation,
having.
man.
My dad says that all.
I will be having multiple weddings just because we got to make it all worth it. But in wrestling, of course, there are weddings. Absolutely. Why not?
Some of them
show your
don't
love?
age well.
Some of them I didn't talk about did not age well. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
However, they serve a different purpose. Most of the time, they're part of a storyline. People sometimes compare professional wrestling to a soap opera. And what's a soap opera without a damn good wedding drama?
And soap.
And somebody's getting smacked in the face.
So to lead this in,
And I love the music at the it's like it goes to
Yeah.
commercial and it's like Coronation Street. It was always like the trumpet.
so a wise man named Taz.
The way you reached for that was fantastic. Pat, hold on. Where's the PowerPoint?
There is no PowerPoint. It did not lend itself to a PowerPoint. I'm sorry, Jordan. There is no visuals this week. I'm sorry.
Then why are we doing it?
Because it's good stuff.
No, it can't be good. Where's the PowerPoint?
So Taz during...
Was MS Paint broken?
Are you done?
I miss PowerPoint.
I know. It'll be back at some point.
All right, I believe in you.
So Taz, during an episode at the top end of a show on Impact in 2011, said this, and I quote...
Oh, and you're going to Impact.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Have you never watched a pro wrestling wedding before? They have them all the time, and they never go well.
It's factually
I mean, it's
accurate.
factually accurate, which is why we decided to take a trip down memory lane and look at some of our and pretty much my favorite weddings in wrestling history.
Nice.
So now we're gonna start the first one, maybe a little lesser known, but it's just awkward as shit, and I wanted to talk about it.
Before you get into it, are Wrestling, my Wrestling.
We can't speak now.
No, are wrestling weddings a ratings grab at this point? Like, because you know something's going to happen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
isn't wrestling perpetually a ratings
Yeah,
grab?
it's like all trash and garbage TV that they need to get. They want to grab that demographic for a key moment in there.
I would argue wrestling weddings have almost played itself out a bit. Like, now it's almost done tongue-in-cheek. Like, I feel like AEW's was like, oh, wrestling
was
wedding.
Kip and his wife, what's her name? Kip Sabian.
Penelope
Ford. Was that even a good wedding? I don't think so.
No.
No,
I didn't-
not
I
memorable.
didn't
You
think
won't remember it.
It was very cliche.
Yeah. So the first one is Karen Angle and Jeff Jarrett renew their vows on a 2011 episode of Impact.
You could have made up the first woman's name, and I wouldn't.
Now,
I don't know
First of all, you reached for this because Impact?
Oh, wait, have you heard this story?
No.
So Karen Angle...
Did you hear about this? Have you heard about this? Was that Jay Leno?
So Karen Angle is actually the actual ex-wife of Kurt Angle.
You're saying Angle. You're saying Angle.
Yeah,
You were saying Angle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
Angle.
I thought you were
Karen
talking about like
Angle.
the wife for the forward for the Indiana Pacers.
I'm sorry. So they are actually divorced, but lucky there was a scandal in Impact backstage. Karen Angle actually had an affair with Jeff Jarrett in real life and married him.
Oh, so
Jeff pretty much was a big wig with Impact, and Kurt Angle was employed by Impact at the same time.
yeah.
So the storyline goes that Karen and Jeff wanted to renew their wedding vows.
Okay.
What better way to do that in front of a live studio audience on live TV with Kurt Angle involved with the ceremony? He was actually in the ring during the ceremony.
That's someone who just was like, yeah, there's an
Hold
old,
on, Jordan. It gets better.
Okay.
In the most Impact way possible, it gets better. Orlando Jordan, shout out Orlando Jordan, was actually the flower girl.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
What?
Oh, damn. I
Yes.
thought.
And then Eric Young was the ring bearer.
Sweet. Good.
So
love
lots
me
going
some
on
Eric
there.
Oh,
Young.
boy.
So during the whole ceremony, Kurt Angle was in the ring, standing next to the two lovebirds. And during the vows, Karen Angle at the time, stated that Kurt was a terrible husband.
Oh.
Kurt Angle, of course, was still in the ring.
Why was he in the ring?
It was part of storyline. I don't know.
Obviously.
I didn't look it up that far because
Was he like the Reverend or like
no, he was the best man.
Officiant?
He was the best man.
Oh, he was the best.
Yes.
Oh.
So after
Oh.
that, Jeff mentioned to Karen in his vows that she was now marrying a real man.
Oh, my God.
Thankfully, Kurt actually snapped in this storyline. Go figure. And actually went in the back and came back with an axe. And when I say axe, I mean a real axe.
oh.
Chased the two of them off. And
He was asking for it.
He was
Axing for it. Fuck.
And he destroyed the set,
Close.
cutting off the renewal of vows. But Jordan, you're a football guy. This will get better for you.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, to defend Jeff Jarrett's honor, Bart Scott, yes, that Bart Scott, NFL player,
Why?
came out and confronted Angle. And, get this, it didn't go well.
Oh, I can't wait.
Kurt Angle took him down and beat the shit out of him and put him in an ankle lock.
That's awesome.
And guess what? Bart Scott did not return to the Impact Zone ever again after that. So why did they do it? I don't know, because Impact had this weird desire to bring in NFL stars into their promotion. This one, it was just a one-off.
Yeah.
And he didn't even come out on top.
Bart Scott all-time post-game interview.
I'm trying to place who Bart.
Can't wait.
He's
Can't
the
wait.
gift. He's the gift.
No.
Yeah.
Gift.
No.
Yeah, when the Jets beat, I can't remember who they beat, but him and Sal Pal.
No.
All-time GIF
Yeah.
interview moment. That was Bart
He's
Scott.
the can't wait kid.
Middle linebacker for
I
the
know
Jets.
exactly who he is now.
Yeah, incredible.
So
Middle
now,
linebacker for the
moving
Jets.
forward,
I mean, I couldn't tell you like anything about him. I just know
Yeah.
he can't wait.
this is the perfect segue because
Pretty
Edge,
much followed Rex Ryan around wherever he went in his
Edge
career.
is now back in wrestling, and our next trip down memory lane is Edge tries to get married on WWE TV twice.
This was the, like, for me, this was the, like, moment I became, like, when I was, okay, so there's always that moment where kayfabe dies.
Mm-hmm.
This was where kayfabe died for me.
So there's two instances. So we'll start with the first one.
Oh,
was
sorry, the Matt Hardy related
was
one, yeah.
storyline with Vicky Guerrero.
Oh,
I didn't even remember
I would just
this.
like
Yeah,
to
I
talk about.
remember
You know,
this.
I didn't even remember
I
this
think
one.
people give a lot of shit to Vicky Guerrero. I think Vicky Guerrero might be one of the most underrated characters on WWE TV ever.
she did exactly what
She
she was
she
supposed
definitely-
to do.
She had go away heat. She was great in storyline, great actress. It just worked.
She might be, like, one of the all-time best go-away heat people
Absolutely.
of all time.
And you gotta respect.
Excuse me! Like, that
You
was
gotta respect
great.
everything. So what the storyline was Vicky Guerrero was the authority figure on SmackDown at the time.
Yeah.
And Edge just so happened to weasel his way into a relationship with Vicky. And what happens near the end of a relationship? Well, you have to get married. So the two decide
Especially
to
in
get married.
Wait, you get married near the end of a relationship?
Well, in wrestling, yes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So the two decide to have a wedding, and before that, Edge takes advantage of his relationship, taking it out on his enemies, getting revenge, putting them in unfair matches. He actually puts Jeff and Matt in a match against each other. Call back to the Matt Hardy incident. Yowza. So they get into the ring and they're starting to get married, and it actually looked like it was going to go off without a hitch
Didn't he cheat on her?
until Triple H comes out and
You see there,
ruins.
Spoils?
Sorry.
He's getting there!
I got
Triple H.
excited.
Triple H comes out to ruin another wedding, which we'll get to later.
Fucking Triple H.
He comes out with a sledgehammer for some reason.
Because
Better
these
than an axe.
Triple H.
Yeah, and he actually proceeds to unveil more hidden footage, which we'll get to later. And it is Edge making out with Alicia Fox in a hidden footage video. Alicia Fox, Roll Tide,
Roll Tide!
which ends their relationship. And Vicky Guerrero ends the show with a great visual of her screaming her awful screech until the show goes off the air. Matt, your hand is raised.
Edge has a great track record, eh?
Edge is great at relationship programs.
Like
Real and kayfabe.
Yes.
Lita, Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
I think he was with Trish at one
But
point.
Alicia wasn't real, was it?
He's married to Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but wasn't... Okay, but
Alicia was a story.
was gimmick,
Yeah.
and so was Trish.
Yeah, and so was Vicky.
But Lisa... Vicky and him were...
Yeah.
But, you know...
Lita was legit.
Let's talk about
But
it.
let's get to Lita, shall we? So this was during the Rated R Superstar portion of Edge,
When
which is
he's-
one of my favorite Edge gimmicks.
Are you? Oh, we're talking about weddings.
This-
not-
this
not
was-
not the live sex act.
This was
simulated sex.
This was the one where kayfabe died for me.
So
right here.
in storyline, he's with Lita. This wedding actually happens 10 months after Lita almost gets married. Hot quotes there to Matt Hardy on WWE.
No
TV.
one can see you doing.
No, but
quotes.
I said hot quotes.
I know, but no one could see you.
sorry.
Just say quote what you're about to say and then unquote.
Sorry. Quote, get married to Matt Hardy on live TV, end quote.
Thank you.
So he comes in and they're
Very
getting
official.
married, and in the ceremony, all I gotta say, you gotta Google Lita's wedding gown in this wedding.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Lanta.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Lanta.
My lord, oh lord. Bravo.
Also, for me, when puberty started.
Well, that's fun.
No, I don't know that for sure. I just felt like that was right there.
I don't know how that dress was allowed to be on live TV, but bravo.
Yeah, because that was after that was reckless aggression. Shit.
Ruthless
Aggression. Thank you.
Whoa,
Reckless aggression. Aggression with no direction.
So the two memorable lines in this wedding. Edge says, "Lita, everyone knows me as Mr. Money in the Bank, but you know me as Mr. Money in the Sack," which makes no sense, but is amazing.
Because that could mean multiple.
That is
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Like,
so many
that
things.
could mean bad or that could mean...
Another fun part is at one point Matt Hardy's music hits, and you're like, "Oh shit, he's back!" But at this point, Matt Hardy was fired and actually not a part of WWE.
This was...
So it was a great tease.
This was Heat Factory right here.
So it was like, but it was a great tease. Nothing happened, so they just continued the ceremony.
Yeah.
And then the minister, who is just an actor, begins the saying. He goes, "By the power vested in me, by God, our Father, our Lord," and then he goes, "Jesus Christ!" And as he's saying that, Kane comes up from the middle of the ring. You gotta watch it. Go watch it. One thing I watch it.
Incredible. It was incredible.
Jesus Christ! He comes off and he runs out Edge and Lita from their own wedding. The wedding kind of just ends, never comes back into existence, and of course, Kane ends the segment by giving the minister a tombstone, which is fantastic.
Yeah, because obviously.
Another fun one, which I always forget about, because this one I kind of tuned out of wrestling for a few years. Al Wilson and Dawn Marie.
Oh!
Yeah.
Who's Al
Tori
Wilson?
Wilson's dad.
Oh my God, I remember this.
Tori Wilson's actual father was a
Actual
part
dad.
of the storyline.
Still a better actor than the Young Bucks dad.
So this is when
Yes.
So this is when I started.
I've-
You know what? I will say, Al
I've
Wilson
seen several productions. with
Al
better
Wilson
actors.
had something.
He had some chops.
There
He
was
knew-
something
He was
there.
good.
He knew what was going on.
So Al Wilson, the actual father of Tori Wilson, was brought in for a storyline, and the storyline was Al. And believe it or not, this storyline was actually created by Paul Heyman. Go figure. Al Wilson began a relationship with Dawn Marie, who is an absolute smoke show. So they get into
Respectfully.
yes, they get into
with all due respect.
Well, I mean, yeah, they get into a torrid love affair, which ends with them wanting to get married.
Of course, because that's how it always ends.
So the wedding gets underway, and in the middle of the ceremony, you're thinking a swerve is coming, but it's not the swerve you thought. Dawn Marie goes, "I can't marry you," in this dress, and proceeds to take off her wedding gown
Oh my God.
so that she can get married in lingerie. Hold on, sir. It gets much better.
I love WWE.
And she
Fucking
then
wrestling.
encourages Al Wilson, a very elderly man,
Very.
to get married to her in his underwear. And you can guess he's not wearing sacks.
No.
He's wearing some tighty whities.
Oh, they were
And
so.
for-
How tighty and how whitey were they?
They were
Patrick?
tighty. They were not whitey because this is a Vince McMahon product. So obviously there was poop stains on them.
Yes. Yep. That's right. I remember it very
As
clearly. now.
those of you who don't know, Vince McMahon loves poop jokes.
Yeah.
Vince is a huge potty humor guy.
So the
Huge
visual
potty
of
humor guy.
Dawn Marie wearing her lingerie and Al Wilson wearing his tighty whities is just amazing.
with skid marks.
Yes. Tori comes out, tries to end the ceremony. Doesn't happen. They actually do get married, believe it or not, in storyline.
I
But
thought you were gonna tell me they got married.
Yeah,
I was
because-
like, am I assuming
when
that?
you told me that Penelope Ford
Yeah.
and Kip Sabian, that was a legit
Well, yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, Pat, for you to clarify that, like, I assumed Dawn Marie
you
didn't
never
get
know.
married
You never
to
know.
Al Wilson.
So, anyways, what happens next is so you think, well, this storyline is going to continue. It actually doesn't get past the honeymoon because in storyline, classic WWE, because Dawn Marie is so much younger than Al, she wants to get busy during the honeymoon.
Al can't get
and
it
do
going.
Oh, he gets it going, and then actually dies from a heart attack. Of course.
What?
Yes.
That's what happened?
And then there was actually another segment later of Al Wilson's funeral with him in a coffin. And then Tori gets pushed into the coffin, and the coffin falls down on the ground.
What?
So WWE has no bounds. This is why I really
They
stopped.
dragged they dragged Big Show's dad.
Dad in the
around.
coffin. But yeah,
my
They
God.
don't care.
Man, okay, wrestling funerals would be a lot shorter, but would also be
Amazing.
like gimmick funerals.
Yeah.
There's like two I can think of, and they're both insane.
So I have two more. The next one is maybe a little less controversial. It's Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth.
This
Elizabeth's
is the most famous wrestling.
It is the
wedding.
most famous. The pageantry.
Wasn't this the first?
No, it wasn't. There was actually a real wedding that happened way back in the day in Madison Square
No,
Garden.
what I'm saying, wasn't this the first, like,
big,
yeah,
it was.
like WWE
this was like-
making it a thing
an
type
angle.
thing?
This
is the
yeah.
first, like,
yeah, it's the
angle
first
wedding.
Because
angle.
this is when Macho Man comes back after the career-ending match with Ultimate Warrior. He's reunited with Miss Elizabeth. They come back, and great promo job by WWF
Everyone's
at the
fucking
time.
crying.
It was the match made in heaven, which was the main event of SummerSlam 1991, which is incredible. That's the last.
91?
Yeah,
When was that? I might have been just born.
you perhaps were.
July?
I
So
believe August.
everyone was really invested in this. Everybody loved Miss Elizabeth. Everybody loved Macho when he came back. So they reunited, and if you want to go back and watch peak Bobby Heenan on commentary during this wedding because there was commentary during the wedding.
Where's Rick?
Oh,
Where's Rick?
It was amazing, and you could tell that like Gorilla Monsoon's kind of getting upset with him, even though if it's kayfabe, I don't care. He was just getting so fed up with Bobby, and it was hilarious. So
do you actually think Gorilla Monsoon at times was like, "Hey, Bobby,
Yeah,
you
that's
need to
enough.
tone it
Yeah,
back."
can you,
I
can you
have
bring
read
it down?
books where people are like, Bobby's a lot
Bobby,
sometimes.
can you take like 20% off?
So actually, the fun part about this is they were actually married for a few years, so this is not really a real wedding.
They were actually on the outs here.
Yeah, this was like this was almost kind of like a save the marriage kind of
Storyline? Interesting.
So Miss Elizabeth says I do, and two of the best moments in this is when Macho's asked, "Do you take this woman?" And he goes, "Ooh yeah," which is amazing.
I'm doing that at my
You're
wedding.
already married. You just roll.
I'm
You should
doing
roll
that
the
at my
dice
wedding.
if you're like
And
kayfabe
all it made me
ceremony.
think of when I watched it was that I wanted to snap into a Slim Jim. That's all I wanted. So the best part about this, though, is the thing you don't see during SummerSlam. On Coliseum Video, they actually do the wedding reception.
Yes, this is the
when,
part I know.
This is when everything goes to shit. They're doing It's hosted by Gene Okerlund, because that's what you need in a wedding. A wedding reception is hosted by Gene.
This
Okerlund.
is how they sold videotapes, though. This
Yeah.
is incredible
you
marketing.
couldn't see this unless you bought the videotape.
Yeah.
So there's gifts. Obviously, there's a first dance, but during the gift ceremony, one of the gifts that they open, they're starting to open it. All-time Macho Man line. They open it. Miss Elizabeth passes him the ribbon, and you hear clear as day. Macho Man goes, "I'm gonna keep the ribbon." You can't make that up. You hear it. I watched it 4 times. I'm gonna keep the ribbon. Yes, you have to watch it. He holds it up to. I'm gonna keep the ribbon.
There's so many things I'm gonna say at my wedding now, which I hope I'm assuming you guys will both be able
And
to
then
make
what
it to.
happens next is
If you say I'm going to keep the ribbon, I'm going to lose it.
oh my god. So in the present is a venomous snake from Jake Roberts, and the whole thing breaks down when the Undertaker comes in and hits Macho Man with an urn. That's how you sell Coliseum video home videotapes. That's just fantastic.
Yep.
But ooh yeah, I'm gonna keep the ribbon is amazing.
Awesome.
In a Macho Man voice.
What
That's
a fucking
so
day that
great.
must have been to film that. Like they must have saw him say that, like, oh my god, that is.
Are you
much
the
cocaine was on
director?
set?
And you're like, what the fuck am I
That's the
doing
most
here?
macho thing ever. We're gonna keep the ribbon.
Ooh, a
Macho,
ribbon.
you're going to open the gift. I'm going to keep the ribbon.
Yes.
Please tell me you were rolling.
No, it's true.
You were rolling.
Someone in the back is like, guys, he actually wants to keep the ribbon. Like this is like he's holding on to it. He's telling Hulk to fuck off. He won't let go of the ribbon.
Which leads us to, I think, the best wrestling wedding ceremony of all time.
I don't know where you're going to go with this.
The best, in my opinion, it is when Stephanie McMahon wants to marry Tess.
Yes. This is the best.
Oh
This is
my
the best one.
god, I
This,
forgot about
A
that.
little problematic,
No, near the end,
very
I
problematic.
think the lead up to the wedding
but everything. Yeah.
might have been some of the best storytelling during the Attitude Era. I was all in on the Stephanie McMahon and Tess
It was
storyline.
impressive.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
It made you care
And
about Tess.
this was like long form story.
Absolutely.
Like this
It was-
wasn't this the middle of the long
Yeah.
con? This was like the midpoint of what was the bigger
It was a really
storyline.
nice- It was in
The-
1999.
fucking
It was the whole
crazy.
forbidden love. Like Vince didn't want her to date a wrestler, which is hilarious. But Tess was like on
Wasn't
the
that a
rise.
real thing though?
Yeah.
Like wasn't that like?
Yeah.
And then once the Triple H thing happened, he was like, "Well, fuck it, we might as well make some money out of this."
Yeah. Well, it's the forbidden love.
They weren't dating, though.
No,
they weren't even
This
dating.
was
at the time.
after, because they were spending so much time together on the road after this era.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
just real quick.
Sorry, no. Let Pat tell it
When
first.
when the
Hold on, let
relationship-
Pat tell it first.
But no, when the relationship actually blossomed, though,
Okay.
was after this.
was at Madison. That match he had with Cactus Jack was
Yeah.
at Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Royal Rumble 2000.
That's when she was like, whoa, I really care
Yeah,
that
they
this guy's hurt.
they kissed before he went on the match, and she's like, "I actually am worried about him."
Yeah.
like
Oh,
legitimately
shit.
worried about
So
him.
that's cute, yeah.
That was before. That was after this.
Cool.
So this like they were putting Tess on a rocket ship. He was
that guy was going.
He was going. He had the look. He was
Good.
decent
Late
in the ring.
99, whatever
And
it
they were
was.
like, you could tell they were trying to get some personality out of him.
Yeah.
And they were getting it.
They were, they were giving him every
so
fucking hook and cranny.
It felt like this was real to me. Like I was young and I was like, oh man, I really hope they get married and this works out. They had a whole match before at the last
Huge
pay-per-view.
crush on Stephanie McMahon, by the way.
Well, yeah, and like it was Shane against Tess, and if
You know,
Tess
was,
won,
like,
he had
13 years old.
Oh, I
he
mean-
was allowed to date Stephanie.
Why? What were we watching wrestling for at 13 years old? Not the fucking wrestling.
So they had the wedding.
I mean,
Tess
You're
is
not
out-
wrong.
Let's talk
They had
about
a
it.
whole. They showed brief highlights of Stephanie McMahon's bachelorette party, and the star of that was not Stephanie McMahon. It was Mae Young. She got trashed. And it was like,
Amazing.
she fell
Amazing.
into the cake. And it was
I
amazing.
saw it. Was it Mae Young who got powerbombed by Bubba Ray
Yeah.
Dudley?
Yeah.
All-time quote from Bubba Ray when she passed was that she said to him before the powerbomb through the tables was, "If you're gonna do this, do it like basically like do it like I'm one of the boys.
Don't half-ass it.
Don't half-ass it. All time, like, and fucking Bubba just like, I mean, he hit like one of the two tables. It was a rough jump.
So yeah, the Tess proposed to Stephanie, and like I felt the wedding was like very Macho Man Miss Elizabeth-ish.
Yeah, it was.
It was very like, it felt like real, and it felt like you were gonna watch them actually get married. So the wedding begins, and it's the pageantry. It's really nicely fitting. Like Vince McMahon walks Stephanie down the aisle.
Yeah,
you're like, holy shit! This might change. This might end differently.
Vince, underrated actor. I'm pretty sure he had a tear in his eye.
Yeah, it did not.
With a tear.
Vince was crying at all the money he was making.
It was not. It was a normal wrestling wedding. Eventually, Triple H came out, and it was very like, get out of here, you don't belong here. He's like, I got some footage for you. This is when it kind of gets dicey.
Very problematic here.
Very problematic, and we do not condone anything
but it
that
happened.
happens. So this happened, so I'm just repeating. So it shows that Stephanie McMahon was actually drugged.
Allegedly.
Sorry, timeout.
Allegedly.
We can go for it after this. I haven't said it yet. We officially disavow
everything that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pat, go. No worries about anything else. I would like to say that the Bros, Bumps, and Peers podcast officially disavows this portion of what occurred in wrestling history.
But I mean, if you haven't seen it, go.
Yeah,
go
I mean, it happens.
So because she's passed out, he takes her into his car and drives to a drive-through wedding chapel.
You do have to respect the efficiency, though.
So he takes her there and actually.
I mean, those are legit.
She's passed out, so during the whole ceremony, he pretends to do her voice. Whoever legitimized this wedding during this video should be fired and should be put in jail.
Oh yeah.
So she's passed out, and then so they're married, and he shows that. And
super married.
Some of the best acting Stephanie McMahon has ever done was the "I hate you" to Triple H after he does it.
I hate you.
Just
better than
screaming,
your "I hate you" to Matt.
I hate you. So,
which is like a fraction of the words "I hate you." It's like an I and H and
again,
a U.
we've already disavowed everything, but the worst part is Triple H says, "Oh, and let me tell you, Vince, we consummated the marriage."
That was. And Vince
What the
loses
fuck?
Yeah,
That's an all-time
That's
one.
big time
What
problematic.
the fuck? It was so bad. Like you watch it now, it's just bad.
You can't watch it. I'm surprised it's still like does WWE like they can't have that.
They never show it.
What year was that?
1999.
1999.
So I
Before
was
that-
12. When
I
I
was
was 12. That was my jam.
See, I was 8, but like I was not allowed to watch wrestling. Like I snuck watch wrestling for like 4 years.
And I can see
So
why.
my parents like kind of forbid it, and then I think it was about around this time where they were just like, it's on when they come home from school.
Yeah,
we're
like
not
what do you
home,
want?
so
Like what are we gonna do, right? Yeah.
So
as long as we did our homework, they didn't care.
it was a great end to a storyline. I mean, Tess walked off because he was so disgusted.
And then he was never really heard from again. Well,
Well,
no,
he actually was brought back into the storyline, but like he was okay with that. Triple H and Stephanie
You know
were
what
together.
makes no sense now that I think of it? My dad would let me watch, like he would actively let me watch movies like Top Gun with him, but I wasn't allowed to watch pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I was watching like I can't even think of the movie like movies that no child should be allowed to watch, and my dad would be like, it's only a movie.
Yeah.
Don't repeat this or your mom
Yeah.
won't let you
Yeah.
watch it. But God forbid I watch
Yeah.
pro wrestling, which is the same thing.
But that goes with the weddings, because weddings, the wrestling wedding, you're like, are they actually getting married? Like, is this legit?
I never really thought that, but like I could see
When
how
I
that's
was
in.
young,
I
this
know, but
one
that's
I
in
thought.
the realm.
This
of-
one I thought for sure.
No, but that's in. No, but it's. I agree with you guys. It's the same concept. It's like if someone's like, if I'm like, oh my god, did they really get hit with that move? It's the same thing as like a movie where you're like, holy, like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like there is some ambiguity to the realness of it, which is the kayfabe element of wrestling at the time, right?
Yeah. So it was a wild end to that one. It was
Amazing.
It was so outside the box. Vince Russo all over that. It was just wild that was on TV and that was allowed. So, but the ending visual of Stephanie McMahon screaming, "I hate you" to Triple H, just screaming at the top of her lungs, crying. And I'm like, you felt it. You felt it.
in your bones.
I don't think we've talked enough about the Attitude Era. On this podcast, and just like if you're someone who is like started listening to us or has started getting back into wrestling, but you weren't ever a wrestling fan, go back and watch like by the WWE Network. I have so much trouble saying that word. And go back and watch like Raw from like mid 1997 to like the end of 99 and just be like, this was on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Monday.
Just watch artist formerly known as Goldust. I can't believe that was on TV. I can't believe it.
Incredible. Does
Cable
Goldust
TV,
have a
yeah.
wedding?
He dies,
Oh,
but
I'm
that's famous.
sure.
That's the thing, because we don't. That everyone. There's a lot of people who are just like, oh, TSN had a problem with WWE. Yeah, because
They still play the disclaimer now.
but
It's on AEW.
TSN was not cable TV back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You got that on your basic cable package in Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of weddings.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of weddings you go back and look at, but I thought those were the best ones of the bunch.
I mean,
The most creative, the most that made you feel, and then the made
you know what? I
scratch
take
your head
back
and go,
what I
the
said.
fuck?
I take back what I said about the PowerPoint. I could see how, like, from what you said, like, yeah, it's
It
hard
would
to
just
make.
be like photos of the wedding.
Yeah, it would have been like photos of the wedding, and then like you would have to get really
But like, if
creative.
you've ever seen these, go check them out on YouTube.
They're all go watch. They're
This would have been a
cringe,
great
and
thing to overlay of the videos of the wedding
Yeah.
themselves, and like you do like a John Boy style breakdown of the weddings.
Yeah.
But
So yeah,
that was really good.
Moral of the story is, if you're a wrestler and you're getting married, odds are it's probably gonna turn to shit.
yeah,
on
fucking
TV.
yeah. I mean, don't do it. Like just
don't do it,
run the
man.
other way, man.
But like, if you're a wrestler, agree to be in that segment because it's gonna pop a big number.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
So yeah, that is our show for this week. You can follow me on Untapped at Pat Gagne, Matt at Gagne Matt with 2 T's, Jordan at JSco55. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. Hit subscribe on our YouTube page. Every episode's on there, and you're gonna drink local, eat local, and we will see you next week for another exciting episode of Bros, Bumps, and Beers.